There's so many cool things to do here in the DC, the DMV, and I've been enjoying them. I've just moved here a month ago and found this great resource. It's called Things to Do DC. Connected with Greg from Things to Do DC. He agreed to come on the air and share some of the February events. Hey, Greg.
How are you?
I'm
Well,
great.
thanks for
I
having me.
have so enjoyed. I've been to the
Appreciate this.
People's Republic of China embassy. I've been to the French embassy, going to the Italian embassy this coming weekend.
Yep.
And people are like, "How do you do that?" I'm like, "Things
Right.
to do, DC." They
Right.
don't know about you a lot of times.
Right. So, yeah, would love to. Yeah, would love to talk. Love to meet as many people as possible. And that's the whole point of the organization. Well, that's two of the points of the organization. One is so we can meet each other, as many people as possible, so you don't have to imagine that. Well, I'm going to back up a second. So when you come to DC, I've learned this. I'm originally from New York City. People come to DC mainly to work. I hate to put it like this. People get so involved in their jobs that they forget that there's a life outside their jobs. It's the first question, in fact. And I know I'm distracted a little bit. It's the first question, in fact, when you meet someone from Washington, D.C., is always, what do you do? It drives me nuts. I'm a lawyer. When I first got to D.C., that's all. What do you do? What do you do? What do you do? It drove me nuts. In New York City, it's where do you live? That would define you. In D.C., it's what do you do? So I wanted to form this group so people of different backgrounds would get together and enjoy life outside of their jobs. That's one. And the other thing is, what is that we're doing? We try to come up with an array of whole activities so we cater to something for everybody. So we're not just doing nightclubs, or you're not just doing seminars or readings or whatever it might be. We do something for everybody. And it's meant to be a chance, whether you're a beginner or an expert, whether you've been cultured your whole life or know nothing about culture. It's a chance for you to step in the deep end with the rest of us, meet new people, and really enjoy it.
You do really cool things. I mean, things that people don't know that they have access to. People are like, "You go to the embassy for events." I thought the embassy was if you're in trouble.
Right. No. A
Well, it's
lot of
kind
people
of
think
smart
that.
there.
They think that because you think, you only, when you travel, you think, I'll go to the American embassy if something happens, and of course, when you're traveling, yeah, sure. But as far as DC goes, you don't just come to the embassy for problems. You come to the embassy to enjoy the country. It's like the second best thing to actually visiting the country. That's what we try to provide. So we do an embassy event once a week, and we'll provide the food of the host country, drinks and music and refreshments, music, dance presentation. Often the ambassador is there, or someone from the embassy. It's your chance to really learn about the embassy.
Yeah.
Really learn about the country.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's like an immersive opportunity because when you're there and you're around the people, like the People's Republic of China, they were so kind. They'd come over. "Oh, I see that you're interested in that sculpture. Let me explain why we have the circular stairs." And then France was, very much their personality and talking about baguettes. And it's incredible. I cannot wait. So let's talk about the February events. What embassy-wise do you have coming up in February?
Okay, sure. Well, first we'll talk about embassies and some non-embassies.
Okay.
I will say, this Saturday we do have the Embassy of Italy, a Valentine's Gala, but don't bother looking for it because it is sold out with a big wait list. I mean, you're happy to join the wait list. That's at Things to Do DC. No in there, by the way. Things to Do DC, like WashingtonDC.com. But next Friday, we're going to be meeting the new ambassador at the Embassy of Ethiopia to have a big blowout Ethiopian event. We're going to have Ethiopian food. We're going to have a dance presentation and a music presentation. There's going to be refreshments. Of course, the new ambassador is going to be there. They're going to show sort of a tourism film. So it's a beautiful, beautiful space over by the Van Ness Metro International Drive. In 2 weeks, we'll be at the Embassy of France to celebrate Carnival. It's like the Mardi Gras, right? We celebrate Mardi Gras. Everybody else celebrates Carnival. So we're going to have, obviously, some live jazz. We're going to have a DJ, food, champagne, lots of people there. I'm setting up next month's event right now. We're going to have something. I know I'm jumping into March, but just on the embassy tune, we'll be at the Embassy of Portugal in March. The Portuguese ambassador's residence. We're going to be at the Embassy of Uzbekistan, the Embassy of Indonesia. Pre-Ramadan in Saudi Arabia, we're going to be at the Embassy of Slovenia, and then rounding out with a black tie at the Mexican Cultural Institute. That's like the embassy's cultural arm. But what else is there? We have non-embassy events as well. We're also doing. We're not a singles group, but I recognize that probably 60% of our members are single. That being said, we are doing a singles dinner at Benihana this week, pre-Valentine's. What else? We have next week, we're going to be doing a international chocolate tour. We just did one last Saturday. Last Sunday, it sold out, so we're doing it again.
Tell me about that.
Chocolate tour of Embassy Row. So we're going to have a guide who will teach us about Embassy Row, take us on a walk, but at the same time, we're going to sample 10 or 11 chocolates from all around the globe. So that will be fun. We're going to be doing
that sounds amazing.
right? A bartending 101 class.
Okay.
It's not necessarily training you to be a full-time bartender, but if you always wanted to imagine what it would be like, the bartending experts are going to teach you how to be a bartender. It'll be a lot of fun. We're going to be doing fencing classing. That's coming up. We're doing a limousine scavenger hunt of the Cold War. What is that? If you all remember, some of you might be too young to remember this, but in the 20th century, the world was divided into two between the United States and the Soviet Union, the NATO versus the Warsaw Pact. Well, it's getting divided again. We're going to have multiple limos. Each limo is going to represent a different country from the Cold War.
Okay.
And we're going to drive around for 3 hours collecting all sorts of items, some of them related to your particular country, whether it can be East Germany or, it can be Great Britain. It'll be a lot of fun. And we also have a Smithsonian scavenger hunt coming up. We do nightlife tours, nightclub tours, whatever it might be, and I love hearing advice, by the way. If you have ideas that you want to see, of course, always email it to us, and we'd love to put it on the calendar.
Sure. Greg, what do you have for families with the little kids?
So, well, to be honest, most of the events we do, we try to target towards young professionals. And I'll come back to that. That being said, a lot of the events will cater to families if they so choose. Like some of the walking tours, we'll do that. The Smithsonian scavenger hunt, we tend to set up teams to families with kids. I am toying with the idea. It's interesting you say that, of trying to set up a things to do for families, because things to do was originally set up for young professionals. By the way, young, I would call 21 to 101 state of mind.
I like the way you think. Right. Yeah.
That being said, it would be interesting to start a new business or an additional business, one that caters to kids, because and teenagers too, because a lot of the times the only people you see, as far as from the kid perspective, are the kids in your school, or maybe if you're on a baseball team or something like that. This will get kids from all over the DMV to meet each other.
Love
and
it.
It's a fresh start every time you go to a different event, because you meet new people every time you go to a different event. So perhaps
Greg, this is such a cool thing. I'm so glad that you came on. And tell us, how can we get tickets for any of these events you talked about? And look ahead. How far ahead do you book?
Sure. Well, it really depends. Sometimes these events are booked 2 days in advance. Sometimes they're booked 6 months in advance. I mean, keep in mind, we're going to be doing New Year's Eve and Halloween and all the big holidays. So keep us in mind for that before you make any other plans. The website is www, of course, Things to Do DC, as in Washington, DC, thingstododc.com. So there are a lot of copycats out there that try to take our name and copy. Don't do it. It's all Things to Do DC. If you're interested in just embassy events, we also have a site called Embassy Experiences. That's with an S. EmbassyExperiences.com. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/thingstododc. We're on Instagram at thingstododc. You can always reach out to me as well, Greg at thingstododc.com.
Greg, thanks for joining us. Have a great day. We'll see you. I'll see you Saturday night at the Italian Embassy.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.